Hi, welcome to the Horns in Watford, my favourite venue. I'm very happy to have Steve Phypers from the Overtures with me here today to talk about his involvement with Mad, Bad and Dangerous, the Book of Drummers' Tales. Firstly, Steve, welcome, thanks for coming.
Spike, it's lovely to be here, lovely to see you.
Good to see you again. So the Overtures have played many successful, quite high-profile gigs, including some quite important weddings, one of which was Elvis Costello. How did that come about?
Sir Elvis.
Sir Elvis.
Yes,
Sir Elvis
well,
Costello.
I don't know if he's been knighted yet, but... long story, an agent who booked us for his wedding knew Diana Krall's agent in Canada.
Yeah.
And I said, can you find us a band to play Elvis and Diana's wedding? And he said, I already know them. They played at my wedding, they're called the Overtures. Go on their website, have a look, let me know. And cut long story short, we got a call to say it was going to happen. But we had to go, on the day of the gig, we had to go to Windsor to meet someone in a pub to sign documents and
All very
confidential, and which we kind of expected really. But we thought, well, where's it going to be? And when the agent came in, he said, well, look, he said, it's just around the corner from here. And we were like, you know, in the neck of the woods, really. We were in a pub in the countryside. I said, what do you mean it's near here? We thought we were going to travel in town, go in town, but it turned out that it was Elton John's house. So we're sort of, what? Yeah, it's Elton John's house. He's hosting the whole do. He's hosting it. Oh, he's not going to be there, though. Oh, yeah, he's going to be there. So, is he? Oh, yeah, and David Furnish and, Paul McCartney's going to be there. What? So I'm thinking, oh, no, because we're thinking, it's going to be some sort of low-key, well, no, just be Elvis, and Diana. And
in a venue, which is...
I might see Nick Lowe, which would be really cool, and a bunch of others. But finding out at that point, after, mid-pint, that it's at Elton John's house, and, a whole bunch of... We said, well, how many guests? How many guests? About 150 guests. So we went, and Elton John come out and met us after we had a sound check. He said, I heard you do rock and roll, you better be good, and I said, I'll be watching you and keeping an eye on you. And the funniest bit was just before we started playing, Elton John come out and stood in front of us with his arms crossed, like this, watching us. And we introduced ourselves, we said hello, it was a great pleasure and honour to be there. We're going to play some music, you're going to sing with us, dance with us, and so on and so forth. And we start, I think, what song did we start with? God, I can't remember, some song, and then flying in. And Elton started kicking his fingers and smiling and looking round like the man from Del Monte, and everybody joined him on the dance floor, including Elvis and Diana, and Paul McCartney and Headon Mills. And at some point we were playing a song where I play a bit of a drum solo and and we normally get people at it. Get your hands up there, which is kind of automatic for the Overtures. And of course the mosh pit had Elton John, Elvis Costello, Paul McCartney, and a whole bunch of others. I think Steve Phypers, the actor, was there. Chris Difford was there from Squeeze. So crazy. And when we finished the gig, he said, I'd like to book you for something else. And he booked us for a private party first, and then he booked us, like a couple of weeks later, we did a private party at Elton's place, and we played at his wedding. So that was really crazy. So we saw a lot of those people again, plus a load more.
That must have been nerve-wracking playing at Elton John's wedding.
No.
Not really? No. It was all right.
We had a lot of champagne. He put it in the dressing room, so it was this pink stuff. The thing is, he was so nice to us, Spike.
Yeah.
You couldn't fail. You're just doing the same thing that you've done night after night, year after year.
Yeah.
But you're just playing in front of some people that really, I'd say they're a good bunch of people, a wonderful bunch of people. And we've played for them many, many times since. We did Lulu's 60th, and we did Lulu's 60th in London, and Elton hosted that party. And we had backing vocals. We had Elton, Lulu, and Kiki D on backing vocals. So how nuts is that? And then we got Elton to come up and sing Pimple Wizard with us.
Yeah.
Then Lulu come up and sung Shout with us.
Yeah.
Clang, another name drop. But, that's the kind of stuff that happens to the band now and again.
And now you've got, of course, you have the luxury of full road crew and all that kind of thing.
Oh, yes, we've got to that.
But there was a time, wasn't there, when, some 10 years ago, you were on the QE2. This story features in the book, doesn't it, where you had a problem with, a technical problem that only you could sort out, which was combined with seasickness as well.
Well, that's true, and even the road crew, no one could have saved, because I was feeling, I'd been really sick and bad, and nauseous, and whilst I was holding it together, just at the end of the song, Patwang, bass drum pedal, went.
Yeah.
And it was the spring and the washers, something that just loosened up, and absolute miracle. We went into a Simon and Garfunkel song. You couldn't make this up. Went into a Simon Garfunkel song. So I dived down behind the drum kit to try and effect repair.
Yeah.
Which I did for like 4 seconds. Then it went and exploded again. I thought, I can't believe this. So I'm leaning over, I'm spinning, I'm feeling ill.
And this is in front of 300 people on the QE2.
Mainly Americans who paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
And to be fair, of course, deep respect on the QE2, paying a lot of money to see good entertainment, and
I bet you hated that bass drum pedal.
Oh, I just did. Well, I don't even know what it was. I won't even mention the name, but something fell to bits. And eventually, whilst I was down there ferreting away, I got it just right before the song ended, and I sort of very slowly rose up like this and played the next song. We played to the end, and we had a big finish, and we got standing ovation, so we were thrilled to bits.
Apparently to the relief of the sound guy, was it, who thought that you'd left the stage because your seasickness had returned and you weren't coming back at all.
Yeah, after he's travelled around the world with us, and he was convinced that I'd crawled off because the lights dipped on the stage, so he was convinced that I was feeling ill, had gone down, and I'd crawled off the stage, because I wasn't. I was down literally on my stomach, just trying to mend this bloody bass drum pedal, and I did fix it, and it stayed fixed until the end of the show.
Yeah, and then got discarded immediately, presumably, or
yes, and we set fire to it and danced around it naked.
In the book, there's a few themes that run through it. Partly difficulties drummers have with things like technicalities and being ill and sick and whatever. And one of the other themes that runs through it is this idea that drummers might be a little bit mad, or even really mad. Top of Headon reckons you've got to be a little bit mad to do it in the first place, because you've got to spend so much time playing on your own and upsetting people before you can play with anybody else. You've got to be pretty determined to want to carry on with it. Whereas Steve White says it's the most sane, soulful instrument you can play because it's nearest to the heart and the soul and all that.
Well, Topper's right, and Steve's right. I think it takes all sorts to make a world, and it takes all sorts to make a band, and all sorts to make a drummer. And of course, all those different threads come together when you're trying to figure out what it is you want to do in a band. I mean, I wanted to be a guitarist.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I'm just look ridiculous. Most guitars are longer than me. just so
and I
small.
actually I had the hockey stick at school, and that was always a guitar for me. I was the only bloke on the pitch pretending that it was a guitar and all that sort of stuff. Little mirror thing, but for me the drums had some other sort of almost.
Well, drummers are wearing a hat. It's like I don't want to do that. I don't want to. And if you wear a hat, no, you're ridiculous. Let's have a look at that. And everyone wants to wear the hat that looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
Of course, drums are always those things. It's that instrument where nobody wants it until you've got one, and then everybody wants to just get behind it and tap it back.
I did a talk at a Rotary meeting, somewhat unusually, a few months ago in Watford Rotary Club, and they asked me to bring my drums along. And there's several elderly people there around this table after dinner, and my drums are this big green DW kit is just sitting there on its own, And I had to do a talk about Mad, Bad and Dangerous and whatever, and they were all looking at these drums. I don't think any had ever been anywhere near a drum kit before, but they were looking at it like that. And I said, did anyone want to come and have a go, you know? I said, no. But as soon as I'd finished doing what I did, they had to go past the drum kit into the bar for after dinner drinks. Right. And they all wanted to sort of they couldn't resist going over and just tapping a cymbal, tapping a cymbal.
Everyone wants to tap.
It just pulls you to it, doesn't it? So is there a sort of is that a kind of deep-rooted intrinsic sort of interest there, which goes back to the days when we were all communicating on drums and with smoke signals
I
and
think
whatever?
it might.
Or do they just look nice anyway and you just want to hit them? I mean, you know, it's...
Well, I wanted to play the drums before I saw a drum kit for real. I mean, when I say for real, I mean by sitting down on a drum stool and holding two bits of wood and going, right, oh, what do? Well, you strike things.
Yeah.
And then that's when I realised this isn't going to be as easy as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
You know, because of course I'm left-handed, and no one told me you're supposed to be going around the other way, aren't you? And this, that, the other. But I didn't bother. I just took my one. There's the hi-hat. I didn't know it was called a hi-hat for ages. It's like one of these things, isn't it? And it's got a pedal. It goes up, all down, all that. Oh, blimey! That was one thing
on its
one
own,
hand,
let
on its
alone
own.
anything else.
So that's you know, mad, if you like, and bad, and quite dangerous. You know, if you drop it on someone's foot. But you know, everything else was like, oh, this is bonkers. This is bonkers. Ultimately, I think I think that it depends. I don't know. I was always drawn to drums because I loved the sound of rhythm.
Yeah. Same
Inside melody.
Yeah. Within the song, within the melody.
Song. Yeah.
Because that's what I mean. What drew me in was the Beatles and the Move and people like that, because I just loved the way, and the Stones as well. You know, the way it worked with the music in terms of. I think I was watching Blackberry Way at about 11 years old on television on Top of the Pops. Well, I was first attracted by the drummer's dark glasses. I think it was Beth Bevan's he was wearing dark glasses on one Top of the Pops appearance, and I thought that looks really great with all his long hair and everything. And because I wanted long hair, I didn't have it at 11. You know, wasn't allowed to have long hair. And I thought, well, that's great. But now, what's he doing? And I saw these big things he was just doing. I thought, oh, that looks great. And I went down I used to spend ages at Hammond's music shop down in Watford, looking at the drum kits through the window and looking at the different ways they were set up.
They are beautiful, aren't they? They are beautiful things.
There's something majestic about them.
There is something. And strangely reassuring. It's a bit like a car. Once you've passed a driving test, and most of us pass our driving test not having really passed, but somebody said, go on, get out of my face. And drumming is very much like, you know, I've met so many drummers who I literally go down on my knees and sob and say, you know, I'm not worthy. Because at the end of the day, there are so many different personalities and people, and drummers that work with different bands. One drummer did say to me once, a friend of mine, said, no band is well, every band is as good as its drummer.
Yeah.
And I think that's true.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
so our band are immediate.
Going back to the... I beg to differ. In fact, I was just about to say, going back to this madness thing, and you mentioned Keith Moon. You seem to have this ability to play like Keith Moon does in some of the songs that you do, but still keep it nice and together, so it's just right for the song.
But you know, I've said to everybody who's said this to me about Keith, and I have as much love and respect for Keith as most drummers that I know.
And sometimes you even pull the... do you do that? Do you pull the moony face deliberately? You know that as you're playing the fills?
No, I've no idea.
That does actually happen.
Well, I know people tell me this, and
I've been told I pull faces, but I don't know
can't bear Spike. I can't bear looking at myself. I hate it. You know, I won't look at this. Some people, you know, might look at it and go, "Oh, not him," you know. But I always tried. You know, when I first saw AC/DC, I thought Angus Young was brilliant. Yeah. I wanted to be Angus Young on drums. And of course, you know, you sway backwards and nodding your head. Yeah. You go, Keith Boone, hello, darling. I like your hat.
Hello, Tanya.
Good to see you.
How you doing? All right.
Is it that cold that you've got to wear that coat? In fact, Mad, Bad and Dangerous did do me a favour, folks. I got a discount at a drum shop, a well-known drum shop in London, big drum shop. But I was shopping for percussion for my theatre tour, the Bootleg 60s Sight and Sound show. And they must have thought I was such a dullard going in there. I'd like to listen to a range of cowbells and triangles, this, that, the other. And this chap looked like, you know, he was going to die of boredom. This bloke walked in. And he said, yeah, the cowbells are over there. And I went, oh, I said, look, I said, Mad, Bad and Dangerous. So, yeah, that's, it's a book all about, you know, top drummers. And I said, is it? I said, I'm in that. He said,
You thought you were
yeah? And I think, well, Mad, Bad and Lying, you know. But I said, yeah, and sort of, I sort of flicked it open, and I found the photograph of me somewhere. Anyway, I went, oh, that's me. And he sort of went, oh, yeah. Can I show you some other areas where you can get some good cowbells? And he said, who do you work with again? You know, and suddenly it was just like, you know,
so he couldn't do
rubbing his hands again, you know. And so I got a discount. And he said, yeah, no, I'm sure we can do something for you, you know. And just sort of looking at, you know, thinking, yeah.
I'm glad that helped you out.
So yeah, it's a really good marketing ploy. It saves you money.
More than what it says on the does more than what it says on the
tin. It should say it saves drummers money.
I'm privileged. Privileged. They're known for playing several celebrity weddings, one of which I believe was do that again, run on. Elvis Costello, that's it.
Just I promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. In fact, I'm in the truth with Dennis Grieve, so reformed.
That's right.
See you in October.